Hello everybody and welcome back to the Full-Time Podcast. Now, I predicted Arsenal to come second, and I predicted Arsenal to come second with their full squad, with from what they did last season. And I put them second because I think out of the teams that aren't Man City, who I think are going to easily win the league, I think they'll come out on top of all of them. But this is going to be something really pivotal in Arsenal's season. Martin Odegaard was seen on crutches after Norway's game against Austria. This was in the international break the last couple of weeks, and he potentially is suffering a very serious ankle injury. Now, this Odegaard injury does come before two key Arsenal matches. They've got obviously the North London derby, that's tomorrow against Spurs, and coming up is their clash with Manchester City, who we thought probably again could be the title race. That could be the game of the season, the game that could decide the title, these two games between Arsenal and Man City. But Arsenal, this is going to really, really hurt them. And I mean, injuries are unfortunate, and they're a part of the game, but Arsenal have had some very bad experience and some really bad luck in these key moments with injuries, and we saw it as well in the first season that they were challenging for the title a bit. It happened then, and I mean, they've faced setbacks quite a lot. I mean, last season, including the sort of bad officiating and scheduling due to different things to do with football like that. But then in 2022, Arsenal's match against Man City was postponed, and this really disrupted their momentum going into this game that they had. Obviously, that's the season they finished second again, and this injury does add to Arsenal's recent challenges, with obviously Declan Rice also missing that pivotal Tottenham Hotspur game, and it is at Spurs. It's at Spurs, which is something that will definitely go in Tottenham's favour, and we know what happened either last season or season before, the 3-0, where it could happen again, but now it's just going to be even tougher for Arsenal with Declan Rice not being there and Odegaard having this injury, which will get him out for the next couple of games. And these are really frustrating for Arsenal fans because of just the timing of these events, like the international break, especially if you're a supporter where you're not that international breaks where it's not a championship like the Euros or the World Cup. Most people don't really care, and we love club football, and especially for Arsenal fans, they didn't want anything to happen to any of their players on this international break because they don't care about the international break. But now this could affect their whole season just from it. And I mean, in contrast, Manchester City has, if Man City got some of these injuries, they've got the depth to handle it. And I mean, they even played without Kevin De Bruyne last season until Christmas, so they can sort of handle a couple of key injuries, whereas Arsenal don't have a direct replacement, and they're lacking that sort of squad depth that Manchester City have in those positions especially. The severity of Odegaard's injury still remains a little bit uncertain, and he might just miss the Spurs game tomorrow, or he could miss a good couple of matches, even coming up to that Manchester City game. That would be very, very bad for them. But international breaks do disrupt Premier League momentum, and as I've said, and probably I'd agree with this, they do disrupt the Premier League season, and the timing that's so weirdly early in the season, when some teams are carrying good momentum from the start of the season, it just cuts it off. But then there's the other side of, if you're a club supporter and your club's not done well at the start of the season, you would need that break to then come back, sort of refresh. And there's scepticism as well about the Nation League and its relevance, especially given the packed schedules and the players, But if Odegaard is unavailable, then Arsenal could use like maybe Gabriel Jesus or Kai Havertz to fill in his role in the upcoming matches. And especially the North London derby, it's going to be really hard for them losing Odegaard and Rice in midfield. They're going to really struggle, and Spurs are a good team. That could be something that really hinders their momentum going into the season. I think this could. I don't know. This could, if they lose, especially the North London derby. If they drop points to Brighton as well, which overall they could look at that, and when they finish second or third and go, that cost us really. And the injury, if they drop a couple of points before Man City and lose to Man City, that could really knock them off course, and we might have to see someone else, as in like another team, come in to try and grab that spot for second. And they're just falling further behind Manchester City after these type of matches, and it will really hurt their Premier League title hopes, which coming into this season they had, and they were high about them. I mean, the desire for everyone is to see Manchester City and Arsenal both be going for the title at a full season with their full strength squads. I mean, obviously Man City would probably win that, but this would, it's gonna happen, and Arsenal are gonna have to deal with it. But this has really put a massive dent, a bloody sinkhole into their title chances, especially if they drop points in the next couple of games. And that Manchester City game, they can't go into that game early in the season and need a win or need a really good result. And Arsenal fans, they are anxious about how the team will cope with this, and I'm not surprised, because they always get these type of things. They come at the completely wrong time for Arsenal, and Arsenal fans are sick of it. And a lot of their criticism is now going towards the international breaks and things like that, because frankly, most football fans don't really care. Club football fans don't care, and it just ruins their team's momentum, or players get injuries. All in all, it's not a brilliant thing that happens to the Premier League specifically, and we're going to have to see how Arsenal cope. But get your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching the Full Time Podcast. See you next time. Goodbye.